I was found suitable August 28th after 25 years and 3 months, and they let me go December 24th. I thought they was gonna change their mind. I didn't think, no, seriously, because I got a bad background. And they were on me about my gang lifestyle from age 11 to now 50. And that went from 11 o'clock to 1:50. And they was like, is this true? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And if I couldn't answer the question to where they could see and understand where I was coming from, they could have gave me a 7-year denial. They could have gave me a 5-year denial. They could have gave me a 3-year denial. Or they could have said you minimizing the reason you did what you did. So I just took responsibilities for anything and everything I ever done in my life. It's best that you own up to whatever they talking about, because if you don't, they gonna feel you minimizing and they not trying to hear what you talking about. And the next time you go to the board, a lot of the stuff, they ain't gonna be trying to hear what you talking about. It could just take one slip up, or you can say something right here and then they come ask you something later, and then they be like, well, wait a minute, you said back here this, and trip you up. So that's why I was like, anything they asked me, I just was like, look, I was young back then, Commissioner. It's all I knew. It took me to come to this prison to change my work way of thinking. Before that, I wasn't trying to change. I had 3 consecutive life sentences plus 17 years. Well, what am I changing for? It took me to come to San Quentin to get in front of them victims and hear their stories, hear the parents that lost their kids to the streets, them bringing the pictures, them showing me their kid dead in the morgue and what they went through. It changed you real fast.
Did you have any experience going to the board previously?
That was my first time ever to the board.
Did you get counseled and schooled on what to say and how to
yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of guys that's been to the board, a lot of like geeks and nerds, people that I know never been in trouble. So they was telling me what to say and what not to say and things like that. But what really killed them was in the end when I said, hey, my son, they said, do you want to say your closing statement? I said, no, I want to show you something. I said, you've been chastising me how I've been in the game. I said, well, look, to show you I know what I'm doing, talking to these youths, my son was in the game. I said, this the day my son came to see me. And I showed him the picture of me and my son. I said, when we was in visiting, I said, he was bragging about how he was in my gang and everybody know he from the hood and all that. I said, come walk with me over here, son. I said, how you doing, Warden Chappelle? And my son said, that ain't the warden. I said, Warden Chappelle? I said, man, won't you talk to my son and tell my son why he shouldn't be in the gang? I said, let me ask you something. You and Lieutenant Robinson. I said, this is the lieutenant right here. You look, I said, you can't even tell they officers or they work here in this prison the way they dress in their suits. But I said, can't y'all right now go to a Mercedes-Benz car lot and drive off with a brand new Benz with no money down just because of who you is and where you work at? Don't you got a big house? Don't you drive an up-to-date car and everything you got is from working? I said, that's who you need to be like. So I showed them the picture when they told my son to go to college. I said, look, my son went to college. This is what he graduated college from. And then I said, this is my son today. And I showed him a picture of my son in his correction officer outfit. I said, Commissioner, you can chastise me all you want, but as you can see, I turned my mess into a message. My son is a correction officer now. And they dropped in their chairs. The deputy commissioner, the commissioner, and the DA, they said, let us take a break. When I came back from the break, they was just staring at me. Now my heart was just, I said, watch they say 5. If I'm lucky, they'll say 3, come back in 3. We don't think you know, you fully changed, but if you take this group and this group, we'll give you a date the next time you come back. So finally he looked at me, he said, Mr. Carter, you've been helping the kids, the victims, and the parents that lost their kids for 13 years? I said, Commissioner, all due respect, I said, I can't do that time. I got 3 consecutive life sentences plus 17 years. So if I gotta spend the rest of my life in prison, this is how I'm making it up for everything I ever got away with. So I'm not proud of the things I've done in the streets, and to show I'm sorry for everything I ever done, this is how I'm making it right. They said we find you suitable.
I'm assuming there's 3 people representing the board, but then you mentioned the DA.
It was the deputy commissioner and the commissioner, and then the DA. It was them 3.
And the DA is trying to argue why you
don't
shouldn't be released,
let me
right?
go. He ain't changed.
Wait, let me ask you this: how does the DA know what's going on with you while you're in prison? Do they have your file, and what justifies them saying you're not ready to be released?
That's their job.
Regardless.
No matter what I've done in prison, they still looking at what I did August 22nd, 1994 and on back. No matter what I done positive in the pen, that don't mean nothing to them.
So you couldn't get any good words from the DA?
No, he told them, don't let me go. I'm still angry. I had got upset because me and this guy we was living together. And the psych said, it says here that I beat him up. I said I didn't beat him up. And I said I'm not finna own up to something I didn't do, because if me and him would have had a fight, they would have gave me a 115. They didn't give me a 115 or a 128. So how is it me and him had a fight? They said, to be truthful here, I'm not finna admit to something I didn't do, because if we would have had a fight, we would have went to the hole and I would have got a 115. They wouldn't have let that slide. That's when my lawyer stepped in and was like, he right. He didn't get a 128 or a 115. Why is we discussing this? And they moved forward.
So you also have a lawyer there advocating?
Yeah, I have my lawyer. Oh yeah, they give you a lawyer. That was the only thing he said though. So
the whole time that was his only.
Yeah, because he told me it's up to me to talk for mine, and he was right.
Now is it the DA from Los Angeles County?
Yeah.
From all the way up there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's their job.
Damn.
He had his game face on too. He didn't say nothing, but he ain't changed. Don't let him go. He's still violent. Look at him. Yeah. When I got out of that boardroom, I turned back around and I said, can I say something to you, Commissioner? And he said, yeah. I said, man, my mama, my dad, my grandparents, anybody that I knew, I ain't never had somebody put me in my place like you did today. And I said, now that I know I'm getting out, I said, I'm gonna do right. But I'm glad that you did this to me today. I needed to go through this to really, really change my way of thinking, and I'm taking this with me. I'll never forget what I went through today, and I appreciate that. And I went right to the church. I said a prayer in the church, and then I went to the church I went to, and then I went up in the building, and everybody was like, man. So I went straight to the phone, told my mom. So we was waiting on the governor. So then that's when this was like me facing life again. I'm sitting there like, man, watch when the governor see my case. Man, I'm gonna have to go back to the board. Man, I hope I ain't gotta go through that. So I'm waiting the 120 days. I think it was 96 or 95 days. I had volunteered in the kitchen. When I came in the building, all the CEOs was like, man, where you been, Carter? I said, I was in the kitchen. They said, man, come to the podium. I said, man, I thought somebody dropped a kite on me. So went to the podium. Lieutenant Robinson wants you. I said, oh. So I'm like, what's up? He said, give me your full name and your CDC number. I said, Markee Deion Carter, E57454. He said, do me a favor right now. You call your mama and you call your girl right now and you tell them you'll be out in 5 days. I'm like, what? He was like, man, the governor signed off for you to go home. And that's when I broke down. I'm talking about, oh my God.
Now, did you break down in front of everybody?
Heck yeah.
Didn't care,
Yeah, nah. Everybody was like, the COs, the inmates, they was like, that's cool, Carter.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.